The sun dipped low over the quiet streets of Springfield, Ohio, casting long shadows across Elm Street. Clara Thompson, a 78-year-old black woman, drove her weathered Buick sedan, its faded blue paint a testament to years of careful use. She was headed to Oak Ridge Cemetery to place lilies on her late husband's grave, a ritual she'd kept for a decade. But today, her journey would ignite a fire that would shake an entire city. As Clara stopped at a red light, a police siren chirped behind her. Red and blue lights flashed in her rearview mirror. She signaled, pulled over, and sat still, hands on the wheel. Clara wasn't just any elderly woman. She was a retired U.S. Supreme Court justice, a figure who'd once sentenced a corrupt senator and reshaped legal precedent. But to Officer Daniel Harper, stepping out of his patrol car with a swagger, she was just an old lady in a beat-up car. License and registration, Harper barked, his voice sharp with disdain. Clara, calm and measured, asked, "Good afternoon, officer. May I know why I've been stopped?" His eyes narrowed. "You ran a stop sign. Papers, now." Clara knew she hadn't. She'd driven this route countless times, always cautious. But she also knew arguing could escalate things. She reached for her purse, moving slowly due to arthritis. That was enough to set him off. Harper yanked open her door. "Out, now," he shouted, grabbing her arm. Pain shot through her shoulder as he pulled her onto the pavement. "I'm a federal judge," Clara said, voice steady. "My ID is in my wallet." Harper laughed, mocking. "A judge? Sure. And I'm the governor. You're under arrest for resisting." He cuffed her wrists tightly, shoving her against the car. Blood trickled from a cut on her temple where she'd hit the doorframe. A bystander across the street, a young woman named Emily, recorded the scene on her phone. Harper noticed but doubled down, shouting, "She's impersonating a federal official." Clara's wallet, containing her judicial ID, was tossed into his pocket like trash. She was pushed into the squad car, her dignity stripped in broad daylight. But Clara's eyes burned with resolve. This wasn't just about her, it was about a system that thrived on silence. At the Springfield police station, Clara was thrown into a holding cell, her requests for medical care ignored. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, and the metal bench sent pain up her spine. Officers mocked her, one saying, "Supreme Court Justice? You watch too many cop shows." But one young officer, Miguel Alvarez, hesitated. He'd seen her photo in his uncle's law office, a federal clerk. Quietly, he slipped her a cup of water and aspirin, whispering, "I know who you are. I made a call." Clara's ordeal was just the beginning. Released after a frantic federal inquiry, she didn't retreat to her quiet life. Instead, she teamed up with attorney James Carter to dig into Springfield's police department. What they found was chilling. Dozens of complaints, brutal arrests, seized assets, dismissed cases buried under vague labels like unverifiable complainant. The same names appeared repeatedly: Officer Harper, Police Chief Robert Malone, and Mayor Edward Pierce. Their investigation uncovered a web of corruption. Seized cars and cash, taken without charges, funded a private detention center, Ironwood Corrections, owned by a company tied to Mayor Pierce's cousin. Police performance metrics rewarded arrests of Black and Latino residents, who made up only a quarter of Springfield, but nearly 80% of stops. Clara and James held secret meetings in church basements, listening to victims like Henry Brooks, whose wrist was broken for loitering, and Maria Lopez, who lost her unborn child in custody after being denied care. The system fought back. Clara's bank accounts were frozen, labeled, under investigation. James was attacked in his garage, and his laptop was smashed. Witnesses vanished. Henry was transferred from his hospital bed. Maria's phone went dead. Anonymous threats arrived. "Stop, or your family's next." But Clara pressed on, her resolve unshaken. "They're not fighting me," she told James. "They're fighting the truth." A turning point came when Officer Alvarez went public. At a press conference, he presented audio recordings from police briefings. Chief Malone's voice crackled. "Bury the Thompson case. Delete the footage. No audit trail." The clips went viral, sparking outrage. Hashtags like Alvarez Speaks trended nationwide. The Department of Justice expanded its probe, targeting not just the police but the mayor's office and Ironwood's contracts. Springfield's power structure began to crumble as insiders, fearing prosecution, leaked more documents. Clara's team filed a RICO lawsuit, accusing Springfield of running a criminal enterprise. The evidence was overwhelming: financial records, witness affidavits, and Alvarez's tapes. As the case climbed to the Supreme Court, Clara faced a wrenching choice. As a former justice, she could sit on the bench, but her role as plaintiff required recusal. She stepped aside, stating, "Justice isn't about my verdict, it's about the law's integrity." Her decision, though painful, earned respect, with editorials praising her sacrifice. The trial was electric. Clara testified, her voice steady as she recounted her arrest and the stories of others silenced. "I was cuffed not for a crime, but for who they thought I was," she said. Witnesses stood, offering new evidence, memos, emails, even a leaked order to keep Thompson's name out of the press. The defense scrambled, their arguments drowned by the weight of truth. Outside, crowds grew, chanting for justice. The Supreme Court's ruling was a thunderclap. Springfield was found guilty of systemic constitutional violations. Chief Malone and Mayor Pierce were arrested, charged with conspiracy and profiteering. Ironwood's contracts were frozen, its profits traced to illegal seizures. The court mandated reforms, independent oversight, public arrest records, and a compensation fund for victims. Springfield's dark machine was dismantled, its secrets exposed. Clara didn't celebrate. She walked to Oak Ridge Cemetery, placing a copy of the ruling on an unmarked grave labeled Case SP 4721, deceased in custody. No name, no story, just a number. She pinned it down with a stone and a carved plaque. "You were someone. Your truth lives." As she left, a group of students paused, their teacher reading the ruling aloud. "This changed Springfield," she said. Clara walked on, her coat swaying in the breeze, knowing justice wasn't a finish line, it was a promise kept. This wasn't just Clara's victory. It was for Henry, Maria, and the nameless, whose stories now echoed in courtrooms and classrooms. Springfield learned a hard lesson. Truth, when carried by someone unafraid, can topple empires. Clara didn't need applause. She'd given them silence, their voices back, and that was enough. What do you think? Have you ever faced injustice or seen someone judged unfairly? Share your thoughts in the comments. Should we forgive those who abuse power or hold them accountable? Let's debate what justice means today.